Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're completely reframing how you take a raw idea and actually turn it into reality. Look, project management isn't just some dry maze of spreadsheets anymore. It's a literal superpower. And right now, that engine of human progress is getting a massive, game-changing AI upgrade.
Okay, let's dive into this. It's the exact question on the mind of basically every modern professional right now. If AI can write our code, analyze complex data, and spin up reports in seconds, can it just take the wheel and run your next big initiative? Well, by the end of this explainer, I promise you're going to have the exact framework you need to test this very question for yourself in the real world. But, before we go inviting the robots into the boardroom, we really need to establish exactly what it is they're trying to manage.
So to really get what a project is, you kind of have to understand what it isn't. On one side, we've got operations. Think of this as your repetitive, endless loops, like an assembly line cranking out the exact same product over and over. There's no real end date, just continuous business as usual. But on the flip side, we have projects. Projects are temporary. They're unique endeavors that produce a specific deliverable under absolute non-negotiable constraints. And honestly, that built-in urgency, that strict accountability, that's exactly why they desperately require management.
Now it's time to completely demystify all that corporate jargon we hear thrown around. To be an effective leader, you've got to understand the exact scale of your ecosystem. Up at the very top, you have the portfolio. This is a strategic group of subsidiary programs and projects managed together to hit big, high-level business goals. Just beneath that, you've got a program, which is a group of related projects coordinated together to unlock benefits you just wouldn't get if you managed them separately. And finally, down at the ground level, the project itself, that single, temporary, unique endeavor we just talked about. Knowing exactly where your work fits into this whole shebang completely determines how you're going to lead it.
Because here's the thing, before you can manage anything, you actually have to classify it. This classification shapes your entire approach, the tools you pick, and exactly where your biggest risks lie. Are you running a quick IT sprint, a massive infrastructure build, or maybe a process improvement? Is this for a scrappy small team or a giant global enterprise? And crucially, what is your primary constraint? Are you driven by time, by budget, or by absolute quality? Pinpointing your type, scale, and that primary constraint, that acts as your ultimate compass.
And obviously, you aren't doing any of this in a vacuum. Every single project lives within a specific ecosystem, heavily shaped by organizational influences. You really need to grasp two key forces to survive the governance maze. First up are your EEFs, enterprise environmental factors. These are the internal and external conditions, the weather of your organization, so to speak, that you can't control, but absolutely have to work within. Second are your OPAs, organizational process assets. These are your internal tools, your policies, procedures, and historical knowledge bases. A true master project manager, they know exactly how to leverage their OPAs to survive the wild weather of the EEFs.
All right, moving on to Section 1, the timeless triple constraint.
Think about the core rules of the game that not even the smartest AI can ignore. The triple constraint. These elements literally interlock. Scope, time, and cost, all circling right around the core of quality. They're inextricably bound together. If you tweak one, the others inherently shift in response. I mean, if you want something done faster, it's either going to cost you a lot more money or you're going to have to radically shrink the scope. It's like a giant puzzle.
This is famously known as the trade-off rule. You simply cannot improve scope, time, and cost simultaneously. Something somewhere always gives. Mastering the delicate balance of these three factors is absolutely the foundational art of effective project management. It requires sharp human judgment, serious negotiation skills, and a really deep empathy for your stakeholders' true priorities.
To put this into perspective and drag the theory out of the textbook, let's look at one of the most famous structures on the planet, the Burj Khalifa. This is an incredible real-world example of the triple constraint in action. So originally, it was supposed to cost around $876 million and wrap up by 2008. The actual final cost? A staggering $1.5 billion, finally completed in 2010. By pure numbers alone, you might look at that and say, wow, what a massive failure in time and cost management. Yet, the outcome was literally the world's tallest building, a massive global engineering landmark that delivered insane long-term strategic value. It just proves that managing constraints isn't just about perfectly balancing a spreadsheet, it's about delivering ultimate lasting value.
Which brings us to Section 2, the AI revolution in PM.
Now here's the absolute main takeaway I want you to keep in mind. Artificial intelligence is a decision support system. It is not some robotic replacement coming for your job. It's here to make you sharper, way faster, and wildly more informed. Think of it as your ultimate tireless co-pilot.
Let's look at the life cycle and see how this support builds across your entire workflow. AI adds immense value at every single stage of the game. During initiation, it can actually validate a project's viability by crunching vast amounts of market data before you even spend a dime. Moving into planning and executing, it monitors your progress and resource allocation on a micro level. And at closing, it can automatically capture and synthesize all your lessons learned, meaning your entire organization gets smarter every single time a project finishes up.
Seriously, think of AI as an invisible, hyper-efficient assistant handling all the heavy data lifting for you. Its superpowers are just incredible. First, you've got predictive scheduling. This is where it analyzes mountains of historical data to forecast timelines way more accurately than human guesswork ever could. Then there's real-time risk analysis, continuously monitoring your inputs to flag risks long before they blow up into project-killing crises. And perhaps most delightfully for all of us, it handles automated documentation. It literally frees up your valuable time from mind-numbing admin work so you can actually focus on real leadership.
So, it all comes down to how the workload is divided. AI completely owns the heavy data synthesis, the predictive modeling, and all that repetitive reporting. But us humans, we own the vision, the strategic direction, the ethics, and those vital stakeholder relationships. We bring the context-aware empathy that machines, quite frankly, just don't have. The goal here is enhanced oversight. AI amplifies your human capabilities. It absolutely does not replace your human judgment.
And that leads us to Section 3, your AI-enhanced challenge.
So, the crucial point is, it's time for you to actually test this out yourself with an AI-enhanced decision. Here is your assignment. Step 1. Choose a real-world project from your work, your studies, or even your community. Clearly define its type, its scale, and its primary constraint. Step 2. Boot up an AI assistant, like ChatGPT, Copilot, whatever you prefer, and have it build a draft risk register or project plan. Step 3. I want you to critically analyze that output. Where did the AI succeed brilliantly, and where did it completely miss the human context? Document those findings, bring them to your team or class, and discuss.
Because let's face it, the future of work isn't humans versus machines. It's humans using machines to do impossible things. So, I'll leave you with this provocative thought. When you fire up your next big initiative, will you let the algorithm blindly manage you, or will you harness it to elevate your own irreplaceable supercharged human judgment? The tools are literally right there waiting. The choice is yours.